Mostly
Guys, I'm being held here against my will. Please send help.
Shop.
Good evening, my
Silence.
Good evening, my darling batlings, and since today is May the 4th, I have to say the traditional May the 4th phrase, which of course is "May the pasta power be with you."
I had pasta for dinner, and god damn it.
Hello there in chat, Miles, Miss Mandolin, and Iron in descending order.
Ayo.
Oh, speaking of, I'm gonna send a link to my buddies so that they can join.
Yeah. Iron's asking how the four of us are doing today. I woke up late, which is why I was late to posting the schedule. Other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Probably need to see a doctor about my ear. So I'm gonna. I woke up too late to schedule an appointment today, so I'll schedule one tomorrow since I have to get up at a reasonable hour for a couple of appointments tomorrow. Nothing too worrying. Just like regular checkups with back to back with my psychiatrist and my therapist.
Oh boy.
I keep telling you, I'm a doctor, and I'm more than happy to take a look at it.
Oh god.
I need a medical doctor, not a doctor. I need a medical doctor, not a doctor of robotics, which is funny because you're not a doctor in either. Your doctorate is in art history.
Wait a minute. Our stream host is part cyborg. How the hell are you gonna roboticize a cyborg?
I'm already partly roboticized. That would be roboticizing the remaining organic bits.
Fair.
That
Also,
in cyberpunk terms, it's called going full Borg.
Okay, fair enough.
But also, if you guys couldn't tell, I'm feeling a bit deathly tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. May I offer you an egg in these trying times?
Mother. Oh god. Just for
Niko's clarity. Just for Niko.
What's my
You're breaking up, JKR.
You're breaking up.
The death egg. Ah, shit. Hey, how about that?
Now you're good.
You're good. Alright, so what about Death Egg?
Oh, hell, that
His
that's my mom
PFP.
tonight, the death egg.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his PNG is the death egg for May the 4th.
Oh, okay. As for me, I rested most of the day. Also, I am practically completely done with my Sonic D&D character. I just need to give her a name. And then it's just a matter of whenever I get a chance to use her. But aside from that, things went pretty well today, aside for a few things. But I won't go into detail. And then I guess Chuck's all that's left.
I'm doing pretty good. I got up with only 5 hours of sleep, which kind of sucks, but I still had a pretty decent day, all things considered. Got off at 4:30, and I've been just chilling since then. So
Yes.
it's not and also it's a beautiful day today. Nice and
It was,
sunny all
yeah.
day.
It's a beautiful
and
day
it's really
today.
warm. It's really warm outside right now, so I am very happy that we're finally getting spring now. Like,
Oh my god,
2
yeah.
months into spring already.
2 months into spring, like 1 month ahead, a month and some change ahead of summer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just happy we are done with that damn cold snap. I am really just happy about that.
Well, let's hope. I mean, we could. Like, I heard from a customer today that we could get another one before Memorial Day. So
No.
yeah.
Anyway, JK,
I hope not.
What up, JKR?
I'm just gonna say this, like, weather forecast says that we're gonna go back to the cold weather starting tomorrow.
No!
You jinxed it, Chuck.
Dagnabbit!
Somehow this is Miles' fault.
Yes.
Wow.
This is all your fault,
He
Miles.
gets blamed for everything.
You know what? I said this for
Usually it's
Miles.
whoever's
before,
not
I'll
the
say
fault.
it- I was gonna say I will say this for Miles, and I'll say this now. As the tank of the group, I will take the blame. I will take the bullet for you, Miles.
Here's the thing, Miles. We can blame Ferd as well, but we also we can blame Ferd for the same reason we can blame you. You're not in this call. Neither one of you is.
Oh no.
And we know that and before you say anything, we know that you're not in the group for this call. Just get good.
Yep.
Skill issue. Anyway, Transformers Devastation tonight.
Yep.
Ian says, I thought Lord Megatron was the tank.
May devastation
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
commence.
God, I know what you were saying, and I laugh at this, but it also depends on your definition of tank. Lord Megatron's a literal tank. Me, I'm just a tank in terms of the MMO sense.
He's a tank whenever he's not some sort of flying fuckernaut, and whenever he's not Starscream's target master.
I was going to say, when you said flying fuck or not, I was going to say, what about the Astral Bastards?
No, the Astro Bastards are the Autobots. Because up until one of the defining balances of power in the early bits of Transformers was that the Decepticons could naturally fly no matter what their alt mode was, whereas the Autobots were ground-born.
Even though they flew in the first episode.
Yep.
Yeah, it's incredibly inconsistent.
So contradiction.
Well, they never did it after the 4-parter pilot. They never did it again.
And that's why getting characters like Jetfire on their team was such a big deal, because they finally had some aerial control.
Yeah, and then
Or at
eventually
least
the
it would have
aerial
been if
bots
they
in
actually were
season
able
2.
to effectively use Jetfire.
That's true, because he's always taken out of commission before they're able to actually use
I
him.
say Jetfire. In the show, he was called Skyfire.
Yes.
Skyfire, Jetfire, same bot, unfortunately. Basically.
Yeah, it was a weird rights issue due to the fact that Robotech was out at the time, but Hasbro licensed the transforming mecha from Robotech's original series Macross to use as Jetfire's toy.
Superdimensional Fortress Macross.
Yeah. So, that also crippled the Robotech toy line because they didn't have their signature toy that they could sell. Because it was already claimed by Transformers.
And Harmony Gold definitely wanted to start some bullshit, and they failed miserably.
As they are known to do for decades up until the modern day.
Yep.
They're still bothering the people that make BattleTech about designs that are taken from Macross.
Seriously, I am so I try not to get any news about Harmony Gold because they tick me off so much.
They're just copyright trolls. That's it.
Yeah, they're irritating. I want the company to just die.
The company's only around because they have a stranglehold on Macross. Nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't done anything since the 80s. Well, actually, the 90s, technically.
Yeah, they've done stuff. They did stuff in the 90s, but they mostly fell to the wayside and just coasted off of Robotech.
Yeah, because didn't they do the English dubs for the Macross movies?
Yes, and they did those in partnership with ADV Films, and then it's a whole copyright minefield about what parts of Macross got brought over and what didn't, and what parts were sold as Robotech and what parts were sold as Macross.
Honestly, I wouldn't be so irritated with them if they would actually do something. If they would just dub the new series that are out right now I would be less irritated with them.
They have a distribution deal set up with Funimation, but they're working through the backlog first before getting the new stuff.
Really? So they're redubbing?
No, they're not. They're not redubbing stuff at the moment. They're just like trying to get licensing deals set up to start selling these shows that have been gatekept out of Western distribution by Harmony Gold, so they can finally be released here. They might just be subtitled releases. They might be dubbed. We don't know. There hasn't been much news on that front.
I hope that they get I hope that they get dubs because, like, honestly, like the whole idea behind the Valkyries are just so cool.
The one thing that we know won't be done is Robotech the movie from the 80s because that one's just like an old shame that even Carl Macek said he regretted making, and like no one wants to distribute it.
Yeah, isn't that the one where like Rick Hunter goes into deep space or something?
I don't know. It's just more so that like it was not actually part of any of the series that Robotech was made from, but they sold it as a Robotech movie. But like it had a lot of adult material that made it through that like pissed off parents and critics. Like and there's this like, you know, scenes of women, a scene of a woman getting assaulted. But it only had a brief limited theatrical run in one part of Texas and never got an official home media release.
I mean, there's also nudity in parts 2 and 3 of the original Robotech series anyway.
Yeah.
So it's
but this was a movie that was being marketed as like rated G or PG.
I mean, you know the movie Short Circuit 2? That movie is also rated G, and it's got the F-bomb like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, the 80s had a different standard for G and PG rated movies. Airplane is rated PG and has a woman running topless in front of the camera.
Oh, Airplane? Yes, yeah. My parents bought the movie and had not seen it in years and forgot about that scene. We were watching it, that scene happened, and they're like, "Oh, turn it off!"
Yeah.
I was like 13 years old, and it blew my mind, dude. I was like, "What?" Oh man.
We apologize for the ramble.
Yes.
I will say with the shading here, it took me a sec to realize that one of these Insecticons hadn't taken a dip in the Golden Lagoon.
But Megatron will undoubtedly...
Because the color grading in this scene made it look like solid gold in one shot.
Sprung a leak before
yeah.
Even if Megatron never gets it, we still have to shut it down.
Shut it down.
We should scan for Deceptor creep activity. That plasma core eject button wasn't targeted. Megatron's gonna need someone to go pick it up.
Split up and find a Decepticon.
Find a Decepticon and beat the shit out of him. That's what we do. Sorry, beat the slag out of him.
But why, Prime? Because that's what we do.
Because that's what we do.
Okay, whatever you say, Boss Bot.
I will say, just as a commentary on Peter Cullen's performance in this game, I like that he's actually doing the G1 Optimus tone of voice instead of like the more like sagely Optimus that he does now in most media nowadays from like the first Michael Bay movie onwards.
Yeah, he's doing it with more like the fatherly kind of like fun-loving attitude that he had in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Still a little somber, but he's still doing more of that original G1.
So basically, movie Optimus Prime, like from the 1986 movie onward.
Yeah, basically that one.
Dadimus Prime.
Yes. Dad Convoy.
Also, what was I trying to say?
Words.
Fuck, I forgot. Optimus. You can't say the S word anymore. Slug had to change his name because of it.
Correct me again, and I'll turn you into the S word. Do you mean shit or slag? Yes.
I mean, technically, yes. That was a point of contention in England specifically because slag means something completely different.
Yeah,
there.
slag is like it means like a trashy woman.
Yes.
I know this not only because I watch a lot of British YouTubers, but because there's a comic in England about two fat, trashy women called Fat Slags. That's decently popular and got a live-action movie that's considered one of the worst movies ever made. And actually was one of the movies that sparked discussion about whether the British film industry is dying.
Continuing on reserves. And the Vera is still
Like, how recently was this movie made?
Like, mid-2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the movie. It was that and Sex Lives of the Potato Men that sparked like serious discussions about the dire state of the British film industry. And yes, that second movie title is one of the titles of all time.
I was actually about to say that. So yeah, slag had to be renamed to slug in England. So,
It took them a while to settle on a new name for slag, because like
yeah,
there was like points where they called him Snarl, there was points where they called him Slog.
well, Snarl is the name of the Stegosaurus.
Yeah, but
there were certain releases where they used Snarl's name for slag because Snarl wasn't in that associated media.
Oh, I see. Yeah, usually there's usually only like 2 or 3 Dinobots most of the time, and it's usually the Triceratops, Grimlock, and Swoop.
Yep. Because
Yeah.
those are the main 3 that everyone remembers from the 80s show.
Yep. Though, to be fair, I really do like the, what's the name of the long-necked dinosaur again?
Sludge.
Sludge.
Well, I know of Sludge, but, what's the name of the species again?
It would have been a no, not a Stegosaurus, a Apatosaurus.
Apatosaurus, okay.
Yeah.
Brontosaurus is what it was called back then, but its proper designation nowadays is Apatosaurus.
Apatosaurus? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brontosaurus was there's Laserbeak flying by.
Oh!
Took down Decepticons. I just killed Laserbeak.
Don't worry, Soundwave's got 1 million of them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like imagine us
that
doing
show is
like
game is so big.
imagine us doing our own like proper non-AI involved like Japanese like Headmaster's dub to start out with, but like the one thing we keep with as far as the cassettes go is that Laserbeak, instead of communicating through like his trademark sound effect, is just Caw!
Oh yeah. Yeah, it would be hilarious if we did that for like the Call of the Future as like a parody dub. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean like doing our own fan dub, like proper fan dub of Call of the Future, or like even some of the other Japanese media, but the one thing we keep from the Call of the Future dub is that we have someone just say Caw! Like that for Laserbeak, because how the fuck do you top that?
No, we have to do our own interpretation of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of us,
Yeah.
like whoever we cast as Laserbeak is like, okay, what's my line? You say Caw! For every line.
Like, yeah. You sound like
A refugee from What's My Line?
Oh no. Whose line is it anyway? Oh my gosh. Just imagine. No, I can imagine. They have done Transformers skits with, but not respectfully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Transformers fan base is kind of a joke to everyone else, except those that actually like it.
Yeah. To be fair, that's how most nerd fandoms are the mass market anyway.
Except Star Wars.
Yeah, except Star Wars,
Everybody loves
because
Star Wars.
that one successfully penetrated into mainstream culture instead of just being a nerd thing. And yes, I did say penetrated specifically to make you snicker.
Oh, God.
To show that I'm not the only immature one here. Now, who is it that needs to get their head out of the gutter, JKR?
Look, Ari, I will say this. I was perfectly fine. I was perfectly normal before I met you.
Yeah, sure.
To be fair, aside from Chuck, I was perfectly normal before I met every one of you.
Look. You can blame Ari for introducing the two of us, but you know who I have to blame for introducing me to Ari?
Who?
Alright.
Is a good day to
Fair. That's fair. And I would say I would blame Lulu for introducing me to Ari, because then in extension I met everyone else.
Wonder they call you Thunder.
But I am gonna
Bumblebee,
say
you
this.
can't
I am
say
going
that. That's a slur.
You want
Wow.
fine. So long as you
I was gonna say I am gonna choose my words carefully.
Handle that?
Gosh, I just got what you meant by that. Oh, God.
after it.
Oh my god.
So you might be able to
Also, rare instance of Thundercracker actually showing, like, reluctance to work with the Decepticons in G1 cartoon adjacent media.
Yeah, and he's actually more like his character bio.
Yeah, that's supposed to be part of his character bio, but they just never did it in the show.
Nope. To be fair, they didn't do that with most of the characters.
Yeah.
The original
Yeah.
toys.
Yeah, for
Except
the most
like
part,
Optimus
the show writers
Megatron.
ignored a lot of the character bio stuff.
I mean, to be fair, good. It's good
it was-
on them that they did their own thing.
And it was like that for like all the toy bios of that, like not just for G1, but even Beast Wars had like toy bios that didn't match up with how they were portrayed in the show, because the show writers just did their own thing, which, you know, more power to them.
Which-
It made for more
more
interesting
power to 'em.
and iconic media.
Yep. But yeah,
Make your own
Miles,
mark.
here's the thing.
Yeah, I get that.
Here's the thing. The more I can blame for it, the better. Besides, you are indirectly responsible. Fur is directly responsible.
Now, I just met you through Transformers Operation Arc.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
and I met you through Earthfall, which was through JKR.
Yes.
New enemy type. These are, I think they're just called brutes, right? No, heavy weapons ground soldier, of course. They're just brutes. They wield hammers.
Look like, if anything, they look like they're an upscaled version of the Titans Return data tape or data pad things that were like, you know, the rumble and frenzies for Titans Return. It's
Yeah,
you know,
although that wouldn't line up with the production schedule, because this came out when Combiner Wars was still new.
that's true.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's like,
This looks more
Like,
like a G1. What's his name?
it looks like Blitzwing except without
It looks
the
like
wings.
Blitzwing. Yeah.
Yeah, for a second I thought, oh, are we fighting
Without the
Blitzwing
wings,
already? But
yeah.
no, this is just introducing a new enemy type.
Yeah,
It's the fact that he's a
he's
big,
got-
boxy tank. He's got a Blitzwing-esque head.
He's got Blitzwing's like looks beyond the wings.
Yeah.
Like there's no wings. He's just if Blitzwing was only a tank, that's what he would look like.
Yeah.
But with a drone head.
Yeah. And you know what? As much as people like to rag on the Generations Blitzwing, which is correct to do so, I have that figure. It's not very good.
Wait, which one?
The original Generations Blitzwing, the Thrilling 30, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, it looks cool, but I've heard a lot of bad.
The
things.
shoulders are a nightmare because there's just a gap in the assembly that, like, you have to do third-party fixes for. Otherwise, the shoulders don't close up.
Oh,
And it
really?
creates instability in the shoulders. And that's the figure that they used for Blitzwing's design inspiration in this game, sort of melding it with G1 as well, obviously.
Oh, okay. I can kind of see that.
Which,
Yeah, I can kind of see
but
that.
like, at least it's not the Legacy mold with the erect cockpit.
Oh, yeah.
They're setting up defenses around the island.
I don't care if it's animation model accurate. The animation model was wrong because they had it facing backwards.
My mom needs me to go grab something from downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, because the original toy, it was supposed to flip forward to where the engines were facing forward.
Yeah, I have the original Blitzwing G1 figure, although it's missing its turret, as so many secondhand ones are. But because my mom found it at a thrift store. Like, the animation model was based on, it was mistransformed and it was backwards. So, like, I don't care if it's animation accurate. The animation model was objectively wrong.
Yep. Actually, there is a third-party fix where you just flip out the head instead, and then there's like these things that go on his shoulders that kind of like just bridge the gap and cover like the top of the head, and it looks like an actual tank now.
And there's also, you know, what kind of accessory do we give Blitzwing? Because he's not much of an accessory user beyond just gun. I know, give him giant fists that he never fucking used in any media.
Give
him Hulk hands.
Yeah.
Give him Hulk hands.
Yeah. Oh man. I was thinking, like, when I saw that for the first time, I'm like, why?
Remember when people thought that was how we were going to get the combiney hand bits for Devastator, and then it turned out no?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, dude, if those are the Devastator arms, I don't want it.
That all, you know, it's better not just because we got better Devastator arms out of it, but also because it meant you didn't have to buy Blitzwing to get a complete set of the Constructicons.
Which would have been total BS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be something I could see modern Hasbro doing. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, I'm very glad that they didn't do that.
Got it. Heading to the bridge.
Further analysis suggests that this energon has regenerative properties. After exploding, it will regenerate from multiple uses.
Hey, Ari, you got my money?
Do I owe you money?
$20 for the animated Megatron?
Oh, yeah. I get my Twitch payout around like the middle of next week, so I'll give it to you then.
Okay. That's fine. I'm just trying to. I just could not remember when you get paid.
I was going to ask you. I was going to actually talk to you about that because I wanted to make sure that I remembered the right price that I owed you. I couldn't remember whether it was 10 or 20.
Yeah, $20 because I feel like that's a reasonable price for something.
Yeah,
that's old.
for a animated deluxe Megatron, hell yeah.
Hey, Shadow Dragon.
Hey, Shadow Dragon.
Yeah, like I have a stack of things on top of my entertainment center of things that I'm going to be sending you. I'm just waiting till Furred ships out the stuff that he wanted me to send to you, and then I will get everything weighed up and have it shipped out to you.
Okay.
If you don't mind me asking, which animated Megatron did JKR sell?
The deluxe.
So it's like
the
it was
two-pack?
like the battle damage. Yeah, it was a 2-pack. I had the Voyager and I had the Leader, so I was like, I don't really need the deluxe.
Yeah, that Voyager looks so cool.
Yeah.
You know, I really like that they very easily could have been like, oh, you have to carry this thing without getting hit, or you know, you have to start all over. But no, it just regenerates right back where it was after it explodes, so you don't have to keep backtracking. Thank you, Platinum Games. You avoided one of the many pitfalls that these kind of games fall into.
I didn't know that there was a
remind-
Chrome there. I'll have to do another playthrough and do that.
Remind me, Platinum Games, were, like, how good are they, like, as a company?
Oh, they're
Or were
revered
they-
as one of the best action game developers in the industry. They made Bayonetta. They made the thing that broke them into the mainstream, apart from Bayonetta, was they were the developers of Nier Automata.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Another reason to actually get that game. It's on my list.
And this
Nier-
was part of a trio of licensed games they released in 2015 that were all quickly delisted due to expiring licenses that were more divisive, but Transformers Devastation is regarded as the best game they put out of those three. The others were The Legend of Korra and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan.
Oh, I've heard things about that game, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
There's more of a split between, like, the Turtles fans and the general audience on Mutants and Manhattan, with the general consensus among both being that it's better with multiplayer.
Okay.
Because, like, playing it single player is a lot more, not necessarily grindy, it's just more so everything takes longer because it's built for 4 players.
I love this. He just
yeets it.
Yeah. He throws me.
Air Commander Starscream.
They make him sound so threatening, but he's not. It's not a bad Starscream voice.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's G1 Starscream in particular, which has a very specific vocal tone that's hard for anyone to replicate.
Yeah.
It's like how, like, you know, people have gone on to voice Cobra Commander after Chris Latta, but whenever you think of Cobra Commander, you think of Chris Latta. Or Old Snake, as he was funnily enough called in his appearance in the Transformers cartoon. I say funnily enough because the codename Solid Snake would use in Metal Gear Solid 4 was Old Snake.
Really?
Yes. Which I believe the TF Wiki lampshades that by having a lot of, like, captions with jokes relating to Metal Gear Solid 4 on Old Snake's page.
You're calling me overconfident, and I'm. What? How do I not?
You're
make this
calling me
sound?
overconfident when I am kicking your ass. Ignore my health meter. When I'm kicking your chassis. Never mind my health meter. But your health meter is much lower than mine. Ignore that.
That's because I don't have enough XP yet.
One thing I will say is a little cumbersome with fighting in this game is I don't know if there's a manual lock-on in this game. Like you can like manual lock on with ranged weapons, but like with melee weapons. Given that all the shoulder buttons are used for various other things.
I think it kind of does. Not really, though. You need to be like facing in their direction.
Yeah,
and then
like,
it will lock on. But
I'm thinking in terms of like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, where you just like press like the shoulder button, or in some games like click one of the sticks and that locks you on to a specific enemy so you can focus on them, and it also keeps the camera tracking them.
Yeah, like the Warriors games, that you're also able to do that too.
Yeah, in this one, especially for bosses like Starscream that fly all over the place, you have to manually turn the camera to keep track of where they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't Scott Pilgrim get taken down?
It's a lot easier.
Didn't Scott Pilgrim get taken down for license expiring? It was one of the first famous cases of a license expiring leading to a popular game getting taken down, which is why the re-release was such a big deal, and also why it getting a physical release was such a big deal.
Dude, I want them to remaster this game at some point if they can, like, find a way around the copyright and stuff.
Like,
this game is just so good.
It's mostly down to just like Hasbro corporate doesn't seem to be interested in remastering these older good Transformers games, and just wants to put out,
make them so much money,
and just wants to put out, like, you know, kiddie game slop based on whatever's the current show at the time.
So much money, and especially if they added content to it, especially.
Look,
like,
no one ever
Decepticon campaign.
No one ever accused Chris Cox of being smart.
Nope.
The man who wants to go all in on digital business, digital media ventures to the detriment of actual toys, but doesn't see the value in a quick remaster and port job of these old popular games on modern platforms. You know, no one ever accused him of being smart. Also, this is just a cool boss fight. The fact that he splits the tank and jet from each other. We've never really seen him do something like that before or since.
I've never even noticed that he did that.
Yeah, there are parts of this fight where you're fighting both the tank and the jet at the same time.
So that makes him a fucking duocon at that point.
Yeah, he's a duocon in this game. Fuck.
I thought that jet from earlier was just a seeker.
Was it? It's hard for me to tell because
it was a seeker.
The lighting is making it hard to distinguish colors.
Yeah.
And also the shape of it didn't look like him either to me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you are, maybe you're not. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he's dead.
I guess we'll find out on the replay.
Yep.
Editor, make sure to note whether we were right or wrong when we get to that point in the editing process. Joke's on me, I'm the one who edits these, and I ain't gonna remember that shit.
I was thinking, like, isn't that... I thought that you were the one that edited this stuff, yeah.
It's like, isn't that your job, Ari?
This is one of my favorite boss fights. Because he is a legit challenge.
Yeah, this is what I think an Evergreen Blitzwing should be like, not just in terms of, like, you know, being an updated G1 take, maybe could use a better toy in toy form than the Generations Thrilling 30 Blitzwing. But, like, also that he works in the fire and ice motifs from Animated. Yeah.
I will say that the idea of the swapping faces on Blitzwing, I like the idea. I just don't think it really...
The faces, how they're molded on the actual Generations toy, are just not good.
Like, even the concept, I feel like that concept in and of itself, just personally to me, just doesn't work for any other Blitzwing aside from Animated.
Yeah, because it was written into his character. They had, like, 3 split personalities. Whereas
because
for
the technology was experimental.
Yeah, whereas a G1 Blitzwing, that was never part of his character, so it's just like a neat little throwback. but it doesn't
Sure, he's
fit
kinda
into his
nuts.
characterization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sure, the G1 one was also kind of nuts, but he wasn't crazy like that.
Yeah.
He was nuts, but he was also stupid.
Yes. Yes, very much so.
I was frozen
Which is
today,
why I like
apparently.
Arnold, which is why I like the Arnold personality from animated so much. Yeah.
Personally, I like the cool-headed personality.
Yeah, I like
fact
that
that,
one too. Yeah.
Yeah, just one because of the way he looks, and then two,
Yeah.
the fact is that just hearing that iconic German accent that the voice actor was doing for Blitzwing, I was just like, okay, this is hilarious, and I love this.
Yeah,
I like the
it's
from my scene. I've liked the crazy personality because it's just Deadpool. It's just
Yeah,
German
yeah.
Deadpool.
The crazy personality I like, but part of the reason why I like the calm personality is because it's like, what if a nutsy scientist was a Decepticon?
Yeah,
That's basically like the kind of vibe that I get from that.
that's fair. I can see that, honestly.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. Frank Shell.
Chapter 3 complete.
By the way, if you want to absolutely break this game early on, just use the nothing but Devastator's drills that you get in like chapter 1 or 2 and put all of your like synthesis stuff into those, and they can carry you through the whole game.
Really?
Yeah, people figured out early on, and they also have really good combo potential where you can just stun lock enemies into oblivion.
Okay. I will keep that in mind from now on. I do have some, so in my inventory on my personal copy of the game. So
Yeah. They also tend to drop
definitely-
really frequently as far as the unique weapons go.
yeah. I'm actually kind of happy that the Dark of the Moon fusion cannon is in this game. It's
Yeah, right there.
actually kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't know they called that a fusion cannon. To me, I'm thinking like that's a
Yep.
shotgun. But
Yeah, it is a
hey,
shotgun, but it's Megatron's shotgun from that movie, so it's technically the fusion
Yeah.
cannon.
This was
that is true.
this was one of the more recent decent, okay-ish grading on a curve movies at the time, so it's better they drew from that instead of Age of Extinction.
Age of Extinction, or
Yeah.
what's it called?
Last Night
Last Night.
Revenge of the
yeah, or Revenge of the Fallen. Well,
Yeah.
Last Night wasn't quite out when this was out.
No, for another 2 years.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep. And the year previous, we got a stinker of a game called
Rise of the Dark Spark.
Rise of the Dark Spark.
I've got a physical copy of that.
Into the movie of Age of Extinction and failed miserably.
I've got a physical copy of that that I'm looking straight at right now. Lulu says, "Ara ara, Niko."
Oh God. Thank you, honey.
Let's see.
Also, I appreciate all the bits you've been throwing my way recently, Lulu, because that's going to make my next payout in coming next week even better during this last push. Because it gets tallied up on like the 10th or 11th of every month.
To be fair, stream host, when Lulu chooses violence with the bits, you get paid for either the trolling or the suffering. It's one of the two.
Yep, and it's usually at your expense.
Yeah, I know. Oh God.
Yeah, get Devastator's drills up to rank A. and like you have a game that can like rank B or rank A, and you have a weapon that can carry you through the whole game for like every character.
When will I be hearing your voice lines, my lord?
I'm getting to them this week. I wanted to record them today, but I woke up too late.
Oh God.
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. But
I'm just realizing right now, JKR, that 86 Bumblebee mode isn't Bumblebee at all. It's Bumper, right?
yep, that's Bumper.
It's based off that mold that was isn't it based off that mold that was like kind of a low-key homage to Bumper?
Yeah, I mean, like the mold itself is actually the SS86.
It was the
original, yes.
buzzworthy one that was like it was Bumblebee, but it was obviously Bumper.
Yeah, like this was part of that 4-pack, and yeah, this is labeled as Bumper because they finally decided to release an official figure of Bumper.
Okay.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, Ari. You're talking about that.
Like that first buzzworthy Bumblebee that came out, where it was a Bumblebee, but it obviously had Bumper's alt mode.
Yeah, that was Bumper's alt mode.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
No. The picture that's in the chat.
I can't really look at that right now.
Megatron aiming a gun.
Yeah, it was like I posted that just before we actually got started, so I don't blame you for not seeing it.
Yeah, Ari probably hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
No, she didn't get a chance to see it because just as I had posted, we all got back to yapping. And I did not want to throw off the conversation just to say
you didn't want to throw off my groove.
Precisely.
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
Sorry.
I love that movie so much.
It has been a while since I've seen that movie.
Oh man,
it had one of the most chaotic developments of any Disney movie ever, but I would argue that like the way it turned out as opposed to what was intended to be actually made it better.
Yes. Because it originally was going to be a musical based off of like one of the emperors of
it was going to use like it was still going to use that like Mesoamerican theming, but it was going to be based on the Prince and the Pauper.
Yes, it was. It was supposed to be set in like that kind of thing, but ended up becoming a comedy instead with no music at all. Except for the opening.
Some of the songs made it onto the official soundtrack. Namely, if you listen to like the soundtrack album, you'll notice that Yzma has a villain song that doesn't correlate to anything that happens in the movie. That's a leftover from like what her original, evil plan was, which was to black out the sun.
Yeah, and well, I mean, Eartha Kitt was also a singer and actor back in her day. So, yeah, and she's got a crazy history too.
Yeah. Like Disney was trying to replicate the success that they had with The Lion King where they had Elton John compose or like help write and compose the songs for the Lion King soundtrack. They were going to try and replicate that, but this time with Sting from The Police.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sting was one of the major parts of the musical section of this. Yeah. The production behind that movie is fascinating, for sure.
They made a documentary about it called, I think it's called The Sweatbox.
I think I watched that on YouTube, so maybe that's, I think I might have watched it. Or maybe something adjacent to it, maybe.
So it looks like Legacy Overcharge has dropped price on Amazon by 28%.
Okay.
Yeah, so
What
it's
is it
now
now?
39.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, maybe. Oh, better delete that away from the list. I'm just updating my Amazon collection wish list because I'm like, I use it to keep track of what I've gotten, what I don't.
Overcharge. Oh, sorry, you weren't. Sorry.
Go ahead. You're fine.
Overcharge is actually my preferred paint scheme for the Legacy mold.
That's fair.
Yeah, it actually, like, it really wears that mold better with those colors, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Let's see. Yeah, apparently the last two. Well, I say two. Technically, I have 3 primes left to collect, even though I don't technically count. Hold that thought.
To repair the leak before Starscream took it.
Meaning?
Detonation imminent.
Can it be repaired?
Accessing Teletron Alpha.
The Proud Star's plasma core was forged in the plasma energy chambers on Cybertron. Only at a plasma energy interface on Cybertron can it be repaired.
Starscream, you must bring it to the tower immediately. The core is unstable.
Unstable? Oh, you don't say.
Starscream is taking the plasma core back to the city. We have no time to waste.
Starscream
Yeah,
just
so,
perpetually stays losing.
Yeah, so Liege Maximo and Nexus Prime are both temporarily out of stock at Amazon. I guess because after everyone saw the reviews, they went like hotcakes.
Decepticons approaching from the city.
Wait. Isn't Liege Maximo still only a pre-order right now, though?
Yeah, but apparently some people have been getting them like actually in stores or whatever.
It's Hasbro. Stuff always shows up in stock when it's not supposed to.
Yep. Oh, excuse me.
Hey. Have a good one.
There's a fun fact that I shared with some of the people in this group chat earlier about one of the Transformers from a different series, not G1, but sharing it with the audience and also with Niko, because obviously he couldn't read what I put in the group chat earlier.
No. Oh no.
Yes. And the source that I got this from is the social media page Ass Moments in Transformers History.
Yes, I know who they are.
So, Niko, did you know that it took until the mid-2000s toy line Transformers Cybertron for us to get a Transformer that turned into a submarine?
I did not know this.
There are 2 fun facts about him. His name's Deep Dive. He was a minicon, and minicons were usually sold in 3-packs when they weren't included with figures as their partner.
Okay.
He came in a 3-pack with 2 others called Long Arm and Overcast. And if you look at their profiles that are on the back of the box, they're clearly supposed to be Strong Bad, Strong Mad, and Strong Sad from Homestar Runner.
Oh god.
With
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Actually, I think that you left that.
So-
out of your
No, I posted that as the follow-up.
Oh, you did?
I was gonna
Oh, I
say.
didn't
So,
read it.
so what you're saying is they're basically just supposed to be a Homestar Runner reference.
Yes, there were a lot of things referencing Homestar Runner at that time in a lot of media. Like Homestar even makes an unofficial cameo in an episode of Homestar. Home. I'm saying it again. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That's how popular Homestar Runner was back then. Even if it wasn't mainstream, there were people in the in a lot of industries that liked it and made references to it when they could. But the other thing is that as Deep Dive is the first submarine transformer ever made, that makes him the first transformer to be submersive and breathable.
I'm going back to working on some D&D characters now. Because apparently I got that.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go back to working on D&D characters. I need to process this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't blame you after that groaner of a joke.
That's the one I got from Ass Moments in Transformers history. The Homestar Runner part was from each of those characters' pages on the TF Wiki.
Oh, okay.
And as such, all of the captions on their related photos have references to each of the Brothers Strong that they are a reference to, with Deep Dive being a reference to Strong Sad,
I was thinking because he's all gray.
Long Arm being Strong Mad, and Overcast being Strong Bad.
What does Overcast turn into again?
Some sort of flying. He turns into a helicopter. Like a military helicopter.
Jolt already a helicopter, though?
Yeah, well, this is like a missile-equipped military helicopter.
Oh.
Whereas Jolt was more of a civilian model.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say incorrectly, mind you, but I was going to say that there was something about, but you know what? No, it's too stupid. Too stupid.
Say it.
I can't even remember that. I can't even remember what it was I was gonna say.
Say it. Say it.
Say it, coward.
And now
You're a chicken. Moo.
What? Square?
Road. I remember what it was I was going to say now. I was going to say that they were like these figures were supposed to be like repaints of Armada minicons. But I forgot. It's like, no, actually, they are legitimately new molds.
Yeah, they're new molds,
Yes.
and those molds were used for a few other figures down the line as well.
I think that the only ones that they reused in Cybertron that were from Armada originally were like the civilian like sedan cars.
They also used the Destruction Minicon team as well. I know that because Drillbit and Buzzsaw got reused in Cybertron.
Okay.
Let's see. I've also managed to secure on Facebook the other day. I did business with somebody, and I bought the Studio Series 86. I think it was 86, or Age of the Primes. Actually, I take it back. Age of the Primes. Combaticons, Vortex and Blastoff.
I need to get my hands on some more of the Age of the Primes Combaticons. The only one I currently have is Brawl.
Oh, you got Brawl? Okay.
Yeah, Brawl was
That's a good figure.
Yeah, Brawl's a great standalone figure. It's just, you know, with me being with my favorite G1 combiner team, other than Constructicons, obviously, because that's everyone's favorite, and not counting the Japanese exclusives like Raiden. But I like the Combaticons. I like Bruticus. And I blame Fall of Cybertron for that.
Yeah.
But like, I want to at least get, why am I forgetting his name? The, leader of the bunch, you know him well. He's finally back to kick some...
Onslaught.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to at least get Onslaught, so, you know, I can have Bruticus, even if he's not fully, like, put together.
Formed. Yeah.
But he was, like, sold out everywhere when I looked.
Yet.
Like, I'm just looking,
Yeah.
there is a Bruticus-shaped gap in my collection right now. Like, I'm looking at my display, and there's a, you know, it's missing a Bruticus.
Yeah, I have all of Menasor and all of Devastator from the new 86 mold.
This is going to be the
because
first
I
of the
don't
modern
have
combiners I've bothered to pick up.
Yeah, I mean, good choice.
Just like I've said, I've shared my thoughts on Legacy Menasor already, and I'm not like interested in the aerial bots because I have no connection to them, so I didn't bother picking any of them up. And Devastator was too much of an investment and too much of a hunt for me to bother with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got really lucky with finding all of them at my stop. I was able to find, and Target. I was able to find all of them in store, so I was really happy about that with Devastator.
Yeah. Plus, I'm already, you know, as flawed as it is, I'm already happy with my Combiner Wars Devastator.
I mean, that's fair. It's just, yeah, I sold off mine because I was like, I didn't need 2 Devastators in my collection, and I was like, kind of trying to go for like a overall like similar scale of, you know, combiners that it's like they all at least seem to be about the same height.
Yeah, for me, I'm keeping it mostly because that one holds a special place in my heart. It's the first Titan that I ever owned, even if it's like, you know, a Titan combiner, which they don't really do anymore.
Yeah.
And as the one of the first figures that I picked up when I got back into collecting Transformers in adulthood.
That's fair.
It was that, and it was Classics Soundwave, the one that's actually Sound Blaster in Soundwave colors.
Yeah.
And Fall of Cybertron Sound Blaster, because Soundwave was sold out.
I can't remember. Did I?
You gave me all of your like. You gave me a huge cache of Soundwaves, including both the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron Soundwaves.
Yeah.
And the music label and one of the gimmick formers of RAD 2015 Soundwave.
Yeah. Yeah, because I kept the Minicon, but I kept Laserbeak because I was like, I like the fact that he transforms into a gun to be held. And if I had the Warrior class Soundwave, I was like, I wanted to give that to him as a gun.
I need to pick up. I'm debating between either that like third-party Prime Soundwave or just picking up another Prime Soundwave because mine's starting to fall apart due to just age.
Yeah, the ABC Toys one is probably your best.
And I've also lost the Laserbeak that goes with it.
Yeah.
I almost lost it to Olive during the first couple days that we had her. Because, like, she was in her, you know, puppy's gotta chew everything phase. And I just had, like, I was sitting there, I was messing with my Deluxe Prime Soundwave. And I just had sitting there on the table while I was grabbing something else. She just looks at me and then, like, picks it up in her mouth and walks off with it. I have to chase after her. She did not chew it up, but, like, she knew she was doing something bad.
Did she at least leave a couple of, like, teeth marks?
No, she did not.
Really?
She didn't chew it, she just picked it up and walked off with it.
Yeah, Olive was the baby.
Yeah, she would baby.
Yeah.
And tomorrow would have been her 10th birthday.
Oh.
Wait. What? I thought Olive was still with us.
No, she passed away like about 2 months ago. She had lung cancer that metastasized and spread to her heart.
I'm so sorry. I didn't see that update. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I lost track of what the mission even was and lost.
Whoops.
Also, I've got some things to remember her by here. I've got a paw print that has some of her fur embedded in it. I've got a tiny little vial of some of her fur, and I've got her ashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we might need to put down my my remaining doggo pretty soon.
Oh no.
He's suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got two big growths on both of his hips, and he's always whining. So
yeah, cherish the little time you got left of him, but
make his last day special. We didn't get to do that for Olive because this was like a sudden discovery where my parents just had to make a snap decision because it was like either she lives barely any longer in massive pain, or we put her out of her misery now.
Yeah. But
yeah.
On a lighter note, I don't want to.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in the famous words of Casey Kasem, I don't want to hear another word about fucking dog dying.
But with Starscream on screen earlier, I was just like, it's funny that he shows up because on top of my heater that is currently turned off right now, I have my Supreme class Cybertron Starscream sitting in robot mode, and I'm just like, he's just sitting here like the cosmically powered Starscream that he is.
Okay.
You know, honestly, the Cybertron version of Starscream works perfect as a underbase power star.
Cosmically powered Starscream. Off lines by a cosmically powered Starscream.
Oh, are you referencing?
I'm referencing the basics, yeah. Chris McFeely. Yeah. I was surprised to see Chris McFeely make a cameo in Dr. Lockdown's every Legacy figure ranked video. Just because I've never seen Chris McFeely do anything but the basics. I've never seen him actually review a toy.
He was also in Kian Combaticons one-shot animated pilot as like he did like a parody of Basics series with this like made-up entity for the pilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only other thing that I've seen him in besides stuff.
Yeah.
And also showing up at TF Nation and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's always going to TF Nation. I don't wish I had the ability to actually, travel to TF Nation, but even like honestly, even before the current economy we're in, even back then I still couldn't afford to hop across the pond.
I'm surprised that I mean that toy guy he has YouTube money.
Yeah,
that's probably why he's able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to go to TF Nation too. I don't know. It would be
it'd be a fortune for us right now to attempt to fly there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention the hospital bills for all of the shots that we would need to take for like immunizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have different standards over there for immunization.
Oh yeah. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah.
If I were, one of the reasons I want to like try and go to TF Nation one of these years is like not just, you know, because it seems cool to go to, but also because Stu's always there, and I would love to just meet him in person and talk to him about like how he helped get me back into collecting, not specifically for like, oh, I have to get every figure in this line, but like just chasing down characters that I like regardless of the fiction they're in. Like I got some figures from shows that I never watched. It's like I just like the character design and it looks cool, which is like his whole vibe.
And I'd also like to meet him at least once, or at least send him a pack so that he can open it on. I would leave him I would leave him like telling him like how he helped me through like one of the darkest times of my life, like right before my brain surgery. I was not in a good headspace at the time, and his sense of humor plus Emgo really helped me stay positive at that time.
He was just an awesome dude. He's like he's my favorite person in the Transformers reviewing space, not necessarily in terms of like, oh, he has like the objective best opinions on such and such figure, and like he is who I trust to do reviews before I buy something. It's like, no, I just like his approach to things.
Yeah, and the same goes for Emgo with me. Like Emgo, he's like, hey, I may not like this figure, but you may love it, and all power to you. Or like I may love this figure, but you may hate it. He's just very real. Him and Theo are very much the same in that fact.
Honestly,
they're both hilarious.
If I ever had like enough money to send something all the way out to Theo, like not on top of like, sending him a figure that he may or may not already have, but
I'd send him one of my customs.
Oh, that would be awesome. I would actually, in there, I would also send a letter saying how, like, I hope he enjoys the items in this box, and let him know that's like the very first review I ever saw of his was when he reviewed the Reveal the Shield Lugnut. The triumph that is Reveal the Shield Lugnut.
The first one I saw from him, and it was thanks to JKR showing the video to me, was his Megatron attack video, where he looked at all the tank Megatrons that were out at the time that ended with Combiner Wars Megatron.
Hey, Cloud, sorry, but I didn't see you there.
Oh, I didn't see Cloud in there. Hello, welcome.
Cloud.
Sorry I didn't see you earlier.
I think that the very first video I ever saw, I was like looking up videos, people smashing toys, and I found one of his toy grind. Yeah, one of his knockoff beatdowns, and then I just was like, oh, he also does reviews. So that's how I got introduced to him.
The funny thing is, not only would I do, like, I would tell him all that, but at the end of it, I would be that asshole. And I did this to a friend of mine, actually, who bought some stuff off of me, who actually did, like, a video unboxing and everything. I said, P.S. This message will self-destruct.
Like Inspector Gadget.
Yep.
Which itself is a reference to Get Smart, isn't it?
Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Mission Impossible. That's right. I haven't seen any Mission Impossible, like, Tom Cruise otherwise, or Get Smart. So I only know, but I know like the shoe phone is from Get Smart.
Yes.
Get Smart.
That is from Get Smart. Yes.
Which
is hilarious.
The whole this message will self-destruct was from Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, Inspector Gadget is definitely hugely based off Get Smart.
Yeah.
And Inspector Clouseau from the Pink Panther movies. Specifically the Peter Sellers version.
Yeah, Inspector Clouseau, meets Maxwell Smart meets RoboCop.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
With a little bit of Lupin, little bit of Inspector Zenigata in there. Given that Inspector
actually...
Gadget's roots were that it was supposed to be like a European Western adaptation of Lupin III called Lupin the Eighth, but they couldn't secure the rights.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, they could secure the rights to Lupin III, but given that Deke was a company based in France at the time, they had to secure the rights from the estate of the author who wrote the original Arsène Lupin novels, and they famously do not like Lupin III, but can't do anything about it because their copyright enforcement does not carry over to Japan. So like they had the go ahead from TMS, which is the animation studio that made Lupin III. They had the go ahead from Monkey Punch, which was the author of Lupin III. They didn't have the go ahead from the one who actually made the original Lupin, which was the deciding factor. So they took what was going to be their Inspector Zenigata and retooled it as like, okay, make him RoboCop.
And also Maxwell Smart.
Smart. Make him RoboCop in his like abilities, and make him Maxwell Smart in his personality.
And to top it off, they actually had Don Adams voicing the character.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Yeah, who played Maxwell Smart, for those that don't know.
Yeah. And it's just wild to think that it's one of those things where it was almost an anime adaptation. It's like a westernized anime adaptation instead of, what we know it today.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder what their Fujiko would have been like.
Yeah. Would have been interesting.
There it is, under that rubble.
And,
I say this having not
technically-
seen a lick of Lupin III.
Yes, I've never seen Lupin the Third either, except for the movie, The Castle of Cagliostro. That's
the one
that
that a lot of people recommend as like a good introduction to Lupin the Third, because it's not tied to any specific like ongoing storyline or continuity. You could just watch it and understand everything you need to know about it.
Open the case and
Yeah, and it's also one of it was actually the directorial debut of Hayao Miyazaki.
Yep, back before he founded Studio Ghibli. Mm-hmm. He got his start working on the green jacket era of Lupin the Third, which Castle of Cagliostro is considered a part of.
Okay.
Because there's different eras that are defined by what color jacket Lupin is wearing. The later stuff from that famously aired on Adult Swim and is where Lupin made its proper debut in America outside of some early dubs of Mystery of Mamo, was the red jacket era.
Oh, who left? Oh, JKR.
JKR left. I think he might have disconnected or something.
Uh-oh.
Wasn't Lupin made by someone named LeBlanc? I don't know the full name. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the estate of that author is very protective of the Arsène Lupin character and all derivatives, and doesn't like approving things involving Lupin III because they don't have any control over. They wouldn't make any profit from that because Lupin III is an unlicensed adaptation.
And it's so, disconnected. Yeah, that it.
Yeah,
basically
Arsène
would be a
Lupin
fool's
was like a
errand.
gentleman thief. He was the prototypical gentleman thief character, whereas Lupin III is a lot more raunchy.
Yeah, he's a party boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, a lot of people consider Lupin the Third as their sexual awakening in a few senses because of what they do with Fujiko.
Yeah. One of the very early waifus in anime culture. Are the two related at all in canon? Lupin the Third is supposed to be a
grandson.
Yeah, he's the great grandson of the original Lupin. But like, as far as the original Arsène Lupin novels go, he doesn't exist because he was made for the original manga, and then that was adapted into the anime. The manga itself being a lot even more like, some parts of it you could not get away with today. Because it's like very steeped in like 60s misogyny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they recently remade, like, isn't the woman named Fujiko?
The woman named Fujiko Mine is supposed to be, I don't know.
Isn't it like
I think
a remake of the first arc?
I don't know, because again, not too knowledgeable about like actual Lupin. I'm more knowledgeable about the history of Lupin than I am about like the story.
Okay.
Because Lupin the Third is tied with a lot of stuff in like anime history, and also like early attempts at bringing anime to the West.
Yeah.
Like
strangely, Speed Racer was one of the more effective ones in the 60s.
Yeah, that and Kimba the White Lion were two of like the big 60s anime that were brought over that saw success.
And then I think that Battle of the Planets was like the next one in like the 70s, along with
Battle of the Planets. Gigantor was less of a hit, but it's got a cult fandom.
Yeah, and then there's Star Blazers as well, which was
Robotech, obviously, as we brought up earlier.
Huh?
Robotech, as we brought up earlier.
Yes. Well, that was 1985, though.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like early,
yes,
like TV anime brought over to the West. There were Harmony Gold attempted to bring Dragon Ball to the West, but failed.
Yes. Yeah, where they named Goku Zero.
There's actually a piece of like Funimation history that we didn't know about that was found like within the past 10 years and has been archived on the Internet Archive. And you know, like one of the first things, like, you know, Funimation was founded specifically to dub and distribute Dragon Ball, right?
Yes, I do.
And one of the first things they worked on, in fact, the first thing they worked on, but not the first thing they released, was a dub of Curse of the Blood Rubies with a early version of the Ocean Cast. There is a prototype dub floating out there that you can find on the Internet Archive of Curse of the Blood Rubies, where it's almost identical, but they use the names from the Harmony Gold dub.
Really?
And the theme song is different to reflect it. The part where, the part of the ocean. There he is.
Oh God!
Welcome back.
Sorry about that. Internet went out.
Figured.
Figured. Yeah.
The part of that early Ocean Dub's Dragon Ball theme song where it says, Goku, he's gonna show you. Instead, it says, Zero, he's our hero. But, like, otherwise, it's identical to the old Ocean, or as it's known, BLT Productions dub of Curse of the Blood Rubies, which was my introduction to Dragon Ball.
Bacon, Lettuce, and Tomato Productions?
It was... that's why I think, too, but, like, it was... I can't remember what it stood
I'm
for.
hungry.
I thought you were Chuck.
Shut up.
It's also a dub that you can't legally get anymore unless you're willing to look for some old out-of-print box sets or, like, old VHS tapes. Because Funimation put out their own dub in the 2010s with the Dragon Ball Z Kai cast. And that's the one they're selling and streaming now.
Yeah.
Which, you know...
Which makes sense.
It makes sense, and it's also, you know, more faithful because it's uncensored. Whereas, like, the BLT production stub was not only cut down, but they actually made up for some of its cut runtime by splicing in some scenes from the TV show instead of the movie.
Huh.
Like, they splice in the whole sequence from episode 2 of, like, Bulma giving Goku a bath from episode 2 of the BLT Productions dub of Dragon Ball, the TV series, to make up for lost runtime from how much stuff they cut out.
Interesting.
Mostly, like, they cut out, like, fan service and adult jokes. Because they were trying to market it to American kids.
Did they like erase Goku's you-know-what?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Like,
I thought so.
The way that they would do it in these BLT Productions dubs and, like, early Ocean dubs was funny because they would, like, the way they would censor nudity was, like, the same kind of way they would do in that, like, Sailor Moon censored nudity by drawing over the animation footage with, like, bikinis or, like, one famous shot of, like,
outlines of one,
or like one particular. This part right here I love because Menazor's just such a bitch.
I did not see that coming.
But
I did not see that coming.
But like, there's a part where, like, Gohan, post transforming into Great Ape and being reverted back to a kid, like, they cover up his junk by poorly drawing, like, a daisy covering it up. That just happens to be in the foreground, is obviously not part of the original shot composition because it looks so badly painted.
Here and burden the Autobots with your incompetence.
Laugh while you can.
I thought Zero was a hero for those who believed in him, at least according to a GBA game. I would have a comeback to that, but I still haven't beaten Mega Man Zero 1. I do not like how that game's progression works. It feels like I'm not working towards anything. Also, it's too hard. It's not the fun kind of hard. It's you do it perfectly your first time or you don't get another try hard.
Starscream isn't a timeout.
No, he'll come back with the vengeance. He always fucking does.
If we had a sequel.
Yeah, if we had a sequel going off this ending, we would have gotten even more Combiner War stuff.
Dude, I would have loved if we had gotten a sequel to this game. It would have been so great.
We also would have gotten, possibly an adaptation of what was that storyline in IDW that centered around Nexus Prime? That was Heart of Darkness, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like the whole Dark Universe. Whatever it was called.
Wait, is it
Are you thinking Nova Prime?
Dark
Nova
Cybertron?
Prime,
Is
not
that what
Nexus
you're talking
Prime,
about?
Nova Prime.
Are you talking about Dark Cybertron?
Dark Cybertron, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't read much IDW. I've read part of All Hail Megatron, and I've read part of Last Stand of the Wreckers.
Yeah, I read, like, the beginnings of Megatron's redemption arc, like, where Bumblebee gets killed by Galvatron right in front of him, and then that's, like, what kind of, like, is the catalyst for making Megatron want to become an Autobot, which is a really interesting, it makes sense because, like, that Megatron would be moved by it because, like, I'm your biggest enemy. Why are you? Because I'm doing what Optimus would do. He would help you, and because of his valiance, Bumblebee gets killed, and he feels, like, burdened by the fact that it's like if he wasn't protecting me, then I would have died, and he would have survived. And it's legit, like, him kind of questioning his morals as a Decepticon.
Yeah.
And like, whether or not the war is actually, like, worth fighting anymore. It's a better version of what happened in the Prime movie, the Beast Hunters movie. The Beast Hunters movie, he just walked away. in this, he actually does something about what he's created, and he's like trying to be better, and that's why I prefer the IDW Megatron's turning arc better than the Transformers Pro.
Yeah.
I will say, so what you're saying is the turning point for his arc is one of Zero's most famous quotes from the Mega Man X series. What am I fighting for?
I made him sound more like Carl Weezer. What am I fighting for?
I know what I'm fighting for. Jimmy's mom.
Jimmy's mom.
Lost in Space? I saw that movie, and I don't remember anything from it except for spiders.
I don't think I've ever seen the Lost in Space.
Like, I had some of the toys from that as a kid. They did a lot of marketing for that movie, like you wouldn't believe. I had
was too young.
I had the toy of the spaceship from that movie.
That movie came out in 97, right? Or was it
98.
98. Okay. Yeah, I was like 3. So, yeah, I was way too young for that.
Yeah, my dad took me to see it with the woman he was dating at the time and her son. And I just did not retain anything from it because, you know, I was only 5 years old. But also, as it turns out, it's not a very memorable movie apart from Gary Oldman.
Remind me, the son of the woman your dad was dating at the time, that little ship, the one you told me about.
Yeah.
So he's that shit. Gotcha.
Yeah. The one that left me stranded in the condo's parking lot while he and his friend went back home, and they just left me to get lost trying to find my way back home. That little shit, yeah.
I didn't know if
I've told this story on stream before.
Dude, I cannot remember what you told him when you haven't on stream, so I always try to play
To be fair, I can't either.
So I like to play it safe.
Well, at least you're honest.
I don't want to have to. I don't want to be the one to, you know, say something that you would prefer kept quiet. You know.
I have a very unphotographic memory. I call it a doodle memory.
I'll say fuck.
I do say fuck. I say fuck quite a lot. That's why even if I do get monetized on YouTube, so many of my videos are gonna get demonetized.
I mean, you could go back and censor them if you
Yeah,
wanted
but
to,
that's too much
you probably
work.
won't.
That's too much work to scrub through like 4+ hours of 2 to 4 hours of footage and censor and scrub out every utterance of the word fuck.
Yeah.
Like, there are kind of ways to automate that in Adobe Premiere, but that involves relying on their auto-transcribe feature. And it's very much, it very much does not like my accent or my talk words.
What?
You have an accent?
You have an accent?
My accent wanders all over the country. That's the problem with it.
Okay.
The funny thing is, like
my accent,
kind of.
my accent, like, genuinely changes into a variety of accents depending on what I'm talking about and who I'm talking to.
And your mood.
Yeah, and my mood.
Mine does too. Mine does too.
Like, if I'm talking to, like, a lot of my, like, my mom or a lot of people on her side of the family, I tend to slip into the more, like, North Carolina variant of a southern accent. And then, like, typically I speak with a more, like, broadly just neutral American accent. And then when I get, like, into a bit where I'm, like, playing up the anger for a bit, I, without trying, slip into, like, a New York, like, Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, yeah. When I get angry, sometimes I slip into a Scottish accent, and so does my sister.
I had a friend who
Yeah,
slipped
that's
into
great.
an Irish accent sometimes because he was from Ireland but tried to hide his accent. He would slip into an Irish accent when he was drunk.
Learn, Megatron.
Who's this?
You never met him.
Of an inhabited planet is
Oh,
It was a friend of mine back in college.
okay.
little you really know.
I don't really associate with him anymore because, like, not a terrible dude, but, like, had some problematic takes that were a bad influence on me and also bad for branding. And stuff like, it's okay to say the N-word. It's not racist if you're a white person saying the N-word as long as you don't say it hard R, was his insistence.
Yeah, no.
No.
Or one of the things he told me as a way to try and, cheer me up when the body dysmorphia that I recently discovered I suffer from was hitting me pretty hard, was like, you would be really hot if you weren't fat.
Wow, that really helps, man.
Yeah, right? That helps so
man.
much.
Like, thank you. Me being fat is the entire reason that I have body dysmorphia. I'm okay talking about this on stream because it's something that a lot of people suffer with. And I feel like it should be more normalized to talk about this kind of issue instead of feeling ashamed of it. I, genuinely feel sick when I look at myself in the mirror, or, look at pictures of myself because the way I perceive how I look is, way more unattractive and outright disgusting than how I apparently look to everyone around me. And that's one way that body dysmorphia manifests to people. And I am working to overcome that. I'm making slow but sure progress. I'm becoming more comfortable with myself.
And that's what matters.
It's good.
Yeah. Am I absolutely in love with how I look? No, but I'm working on losing weight. I've lost nearly 100 pounds over the course of the past 2 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
And my actual health is doing better as a result of that. I've had many blood tests done over the past year, and they're getting increasingly better and better, with mainly, my A1C being something that needs to be worked on. And also, recent discovery that there were some oddly shaped patterns in my blood cells that need to be looked at by a rheumatologist to see if I potentially have a autoimmune disorder. But I'll worry about that when the time comes, which is later this month.
But in regards to you losing that 100 pounds, I give you this.
Thank you. No shit, I was genuinely nearing 400 pounds before I started my weight loss journey and actually, taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been making strides with that myself. I don't think you've seen pictures of me before I started losing weight, but I was not at a healthy weight 4 months ago. I was close to 320 pounds, something like that. Now I think I'm down to 278. So I've lost about 20 40 pounds, something like that. So I'm doing much better now.
I'm glad to hear that.
I used to snore. I used to snore a lot when I was more overweight, and apparently I don't anymore. So
that's
good. I still have sleep apnea. I don't think that's just directly tied to my weight. It was just worsened by my weight. So I still need a CPAP in order to sleep. Because if I sleep without a CPAP hooked up, then I just don't get any restful sleep, and I feel awful the next day.
Yeah. Like I know for a fact that I snore because like when I get up in the morning, my mouth is dry like hell. So I know it's like, yeah, I am. Like I talked to DBY about that. So I just mentioned it to him like casually. I'm like, I don't know why my throat's just dry, my mouth's just dry, and he's just like, any idea why? I'm like, He's like, do you think you snore? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I know I snore. My ex-girlfriend told me that I snore pretty bad, and even my eldest friend from childhood says I snore like a lawnmower.
Iron asks in chat, what accent do you think I have? Or what accent do I think he has? Based on my knowledge of regional accents, specific to like the U.S., you've got a little bit of the nasal tone that comes with the North Carolina accent, but it's not like you don't have the pronounced country drawl from like the more rural parts of North Carolina. You've also got some of the like slightly deepened monotone that comes with that happens to be a common trait among people with autism like myself and you. So that it's I would say you have like a more centralized North Carolina accent as opposed to like one from the country in North Carolina, with a little bit of like you know, the autism flavor. And that is genuinely a thing I found out. More monotone, deep voices are common among people with autism.
Yeah, my brother has a monotone, deep voice, so and he is autistic. We know that for a fact. So it makes sense, and a lot of the people that I know that do tend to have deeper voices, and they do talk more monotone a lot of the time.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, like, you know, knowing your brother for the period of time that I've, you know, like all the couple of times that I've met your brother in person, I never, like, yeah, I kind of, you know, sense he was autistic, but
he's very high functioning. Yes,
he's very high functioning, but I could always, there was like a little part of me, like, you know, thinking it's like, maybe he is, but I didn't want to be rude and ask about it, so I was just like, you know, if you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I let them tell me if they want, if they feel comfortable telling me that you know, they've got some sort of neurodiversity, you know, that's their business.
And that's one of the correct ways to take it. Like a lot of times people are obviously I'm not speaking for everyone, the neurodivergent sphere out there, but a lot of them are okay with people asking as long as it's not like in an accusatory tone or like phrasing it as if being neurodivergent is a problem.
Right, like
like
even I am neurodivergent because I've got ADHD, and apparently I've got a very severe case of it, but I've managed to kind of hide it over the years. People are surprised when I tell them that. They're like, "You have ADHD?" I was like, "Yeah, that's not really that surprising."
Girl.
Do you need details about this fight for those who didn't already know? One, Shockwave cloning himself in the middle of this fight is a reference to a scrapped part of his character that was in his toy bio but wasn't in the show, is that he was supposed to be able to clone himself at will. And also, the clones are the color scheme of the Radio Shack version of the Soundwave mold that was sold back in the day, the Galactic Man.
Which was the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was sold, like, Radio Shack secured the right to just distribute that mold as well as Hasbro, so, like, you could go to Radio Shack and pick up a gray Soundwave that wasn't labeled with Transformers branding, but, like, it was a weird time.
And, you know, there's that, the Gen Selects Siege Shockwave in the Galactic Man colors.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I always wanted to get that one, but I ended up getting the Shockwave. And I got rid of my Siege Shockwave some time ago. I really wish that I hadn't done it, because I really, really like that mold. And,
From what I'm seeing, the Studio Series 86 is basically just the Siege mold, just without all the tech wriggling.
Yeah, and also without the extra arms and boosters.
Yeah, without all the extra bits that served only to inflate the price point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that
Like, it's some cool. You can do some
ship from
you can do some cool stuff with it. It's just like, it's obviously just meant to be, oh, we made a Voyager and then we threw in some extra shit so we can justify calling it a leader, which is what a lot of leaders in that, like, War for Cybertron trilogy era were, even into Studio Series.
Yeah, Astro Train is also kind of guilty of that too, from that era.
Ultra Magnus and Galaxy Optimus Prime are extremely guilty of that. Because it's with Ultra Magnus it's a reference to the G1 toy, but it's like, you clearly did it this way just so you could sell it as a leader.
Yeah, I really, really want them to make a new Galaxy Convoy for sure.
Yeah.
Sometime soon. And they are going to make a new one. I just hope that it's not a repack of... they are releasing something. I just hope it's not a repack of that Siege one.
Yeah, that's not a good representation of Galaxy Convoy.
It is. It really isn't. It's 2 parts for me for that.
Yeah.
And like, the original one did parts for him, but not very much.
Yeah, not to that extent.
No, not at all. Oh, go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah,
sorry.
Like, probably one of the more egregious cases of that, where like it's not just that they threw in some extra unrelated bits and bobs to pad out the price point, but this time they barely threw in bits and bobs in the first place. They like half-assed it, where it was like a figure that's clearly too small to be a leader, but like, you know, they throw in some extra shit to say, here's the parts count for leader class. Dark of the Moon, Studio Series, Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
It's so small for a leader, but, like, they throw in, like, oh, you get that little munch fucker that was, like, knobbling on his head.
Yeah.
And, like, a
Igor.
troop that's parachuting. And it's like, okay, but what, do these factor into... Do these do anything with the figure? No?
No.
And why include them other than to justify the parts count?
Yep.
Yeah. Parts count is like the dumbest excuse to me for a price point of a figure, because it could be so small and then they'll charge so much for it.
I'm looking at you, Earthrise, Cliffjumper, and Bumblebee.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And they're cheaper in Japan, where they're originally designed. Like, they're cheaper than regular deluxe, which is like, I wish that we had that for Transformers over here.
Or like
it would make it so much more affordable.
Or like Hot Rod being like deluxe size but sold as a Voyager.
Yeah, that was pretty scummy, and they did it again.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna do, and now they're
more than meets the eye collection.
And now they're gonna do a masterpiece Hot Rod that seems to just be an upscale of the Studio Series Hot Rod.
To be fair, it is heavily inspired, but it is different in a few ways. They've fixed a lot of the problems with the Studio Series figure, and just made it better overall. But it is just an upscaled version of that figure. But
yeah,
with various improvements in different areas.
Which at that point, it's like you're basically just turning the new version of the Masterpiece line, MPG, for certain figures into what the KO upscale companies were already doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking at you, Black Mamba and Toy World. Yeah.
Like, I haven't bought any Masterpieces in a while because not just has the quality been so all over the place, but the prices just gatekeep out everyone but the most hardcore collectors.
Yeah.
And
really
they don't
sucks.
just... They also just throw in a whole bunch of random shit to try and up the price point. Like, is there any reason that an Optimus Prime had to be $400? Is there any reason that an Optimus Prime had to be $400 US?
No, not at all. And they threw in so much crap that did not need to be there.
Did we really need to include an old
Starscream?
The Starscream head?
Yeah, and the wings and the null rays and crap. Yeah, just for that one little reference to the cartoon that almost no one about.
Yeah. And, like, another one that stuck out to me where I bought the KO instead of the official just because I got the same thing, but for a better price, was the Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron. Where that was, like, 300 USD MSRP.
It's ridiculous.
And it's like, it doesn't even come with all the shit to justify that price point.
Yeah.
Like, I got a KO version off of Shozi for $100, and it came installed with one of the third-party voice packs that gives you David Kay's voice instead of the Japanese dub.
Yeah. And that just shows that the third-party manufacturer had more respect for both sides of the fandom.
Yeah, especially, it's weird that, like, Japan keeps trying to do, like, oh, let's do references to the Japanese gag dub of Beast Wars, when it's like, the gag dub of Beast Wars is why Transformers isn't popular in Japan anymore. Because everyone views it as, like, kiddie shit. Because of how because they took a show that had a great story and gave it a joke dub.
Yep.
And that's just how they do all their dubs of Western Transformers series now.
Which really sucks, but, I mean, to be fair, with Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015, I actually don't mind if they made fun of that.
There is one character change in the Japanese gag dubs of Western Transformers series that I actually think is low-key kind of funny, given how the character plays out.
What's that?
That is, in Transformers Prime, they made Arachnid a yandere.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Instead of making her, like, you know, kind of like the Predator, where she's collecting trophies of the apex species of each planet, they made her a yandere who's collecting the cutest boys on each planet.
That's hilarious. Okay. That's actually legit funny.
Yeah. They took the character with, like, low-key, some of the most horrifying stuff related to her and turned her into a yandere, which is its own kind of scary.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like I should probably cut off here just so I make sure I'm up in time for my appointments tomorrow. Because I will get yelled at if I miss my psychiatrist appointment, given that it's a telehealth appointment.
Okay.
Because she is only available on 2 days of the week, and she fills up slots fast.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's actually good.
And that's, you know, important for getting, you know, medication refills and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was fun. I kind of like how we're low-key tuning out the story that's going on, because it's a Platinum game. You don't play it for the story, you play it for the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, the story is interesting to an extent. It's really, like you said, it's really not the focus.
Like, Nier Automata is the only Platinum Games production that I can think of, other than, like, the Bayonetta series, where they really want you to care about the story. And that's because Nier Automata is a Square Enix published game, and a Square Enix-owned franchise that's a sequel to another Square Enix game.
What is it a sequel to?
It's a sequel to the game Nier, which itself is a spiritual successor to a trilogy of very jank and weird RPGs from the PS2 and PS3 era called Drakengard. Yeah. I've thought about, like, doing a Drakengard retrospective to, like, properly understand stuff in Nier, because apparently, like, Nier's part of the twist with Nier, the original Nier, is that you find out it's a sequel to Drakengard. But, like, everyone says, just watch cutscenes on YouTube, don't play the Drakengard games, because they are just jank and not in the fun way.
I will say this, though, about Nier. I also find it funny how when they did the collaboration with 14, they counted all the events of the 14 event in Nier for Nier canon to it, too. So it was just like, oh.
And if you want to play the original Nier in a more up-to-date form, there's the remaster of it, which is Nier Replicant.
Yeah,
and then it has, like, a bunch of numbers at the end of it because Yoko Taro loves his weird titles. Like, Nier's weird in that there are two separate versions of Nier depending on where you lived and what platform you bought it on back in the generation it came out in. In Japan, there were two separate versions of Nier. One for the PS3 and one for the 360, and the difference was what the protagonist looked and sounded like. If you bought it on PS3, you got your standard, like, pretty boy shonen character protagonist. If you bought it on Xbox 360, you got, like, a more grizzled middle-aged man. And it also rewrote the story between, like, you're either trying to help your sister or you're trying to help your daughter, depending on the protagonist. And then when it was released in the West, they took the grizzled middle-aged man version and made that the version we got on both platforms out here. And the remaster is based on the shonen protagonist version, which was the better-selling version. And is the canon version.
Interesting.
I see.
Anyways, that's enough rambling for now. I have a lot of autistic tangents I could go on when I'm in one of my, like, half-awake, half-asleep moods. So I'm cutting myself off here.
All right.
Let's see who we are going to raid tonight. Also, it turns out that we missed out on something potentially fun that we could have done, that we could have participated in last night with Pia P UFO.
What?
Or Pia Pie, however you pronounce her name. She and the other Beasties girls were doing an open lobby of Sonic Racing Crossworlds.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I did not know about that.
Yeah, it was like right after we got off is when they started that.
Oh, wow.
We are going to raid... You know what, we're going to raid Dominic Bites, because once again, love their model. They don't have the Boobalicious model out right now. They're going with the more femboy model, because they, from what I've seen, they are gender fluid, like yours truly.
Yep.
I also love their voice filter. They just got a cool, like Lost Wave cyberpunk design with Dr. Octopus arms. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to my co-host for joining me tonight and putting up with all my rambles. Go give Dominic Bites my warmest greetings. Our raid message is going to be... what those Doc Ock arms do. I'll see you guys on Wednesday with more Bayonetta. And until then, unpleasant dreams.
And so long, Screwy. See you in St. Louis. Hit it, Chuck.
Well, we're the boys of Chorus. We hope you liked that. We know you'll root for us, but now we have to.
This was interesting.
Good night,
Have a good
everybody.
night.
Night.